Good morning, everyone. It is Sunday. It is January 5th, 2025, and it is time for your Sunday reading. I'm Dolly. This is the Wolfgar Oracle, and as always, I'm very, very glad that you guys are here. I'm very grateful. Let's get over to the other camera, and we'll get our reading done today. We're going to do a couple things differently today. All right, so for the reading today, let me move my microphone over so you guys can hear me. For the reading today, we're going to be using the Wisdom of the Hidden Realms Oracle by Colette Baron Reed, and we're also going to be using the Wandering Star Tarot by Kat Pierce. And we're going to be picking some runes. So let's get this started here. I'm going to ask the angels to protect us. I'm going to ask the spirits of the land and my home, the Land Vitir and the Hus Vitir, to surround us, and I'm going to ask the ancestors to give us wisdom. What do we need to know for this week, Spirit? Please, thank you, and I love you. And while I shuffle these out and get these set out, I am going to fast forward so that you don't have to sit through all this. Okay, here we go. So what we're going to be doing, we're going to be going around the circle this way. This represents the week, okay? We have the east, the south, the west, the north, okay? The beginning, early midweek, towards the end of the week, and the weekend, okay? So we're going to start off with the beginning of the week, and we have the Desert Prince. The Desert Prince. It says survival and false promises. The Desert Prince, survival and false promises. For the tarot card, we have the Four of Cups in the medicine position. The Four of Cups in the medicine position. And for the, flipping things around here. For the rune, we have the rune Gebo. Gebo. G-E-B-O. Gebo. What I'm feeling from this is, well, the Desert Prince, is talking about false promises, right? And the Four of Cups in the medicine position is kind of a feeling negative, feeling pessimistic, really up in your feelings kind of a feeling. And the Gabo rune is all about generosity. So I feel like we're in a situation where we're stuck between believing promises and realizing promises aren't real, or that the promises were too good to be true. There's no way that they can be kept. And people are realizing this right now. People are realizing that this false pretense, everything was a false pretense. Everything was a construct. And as more and more and more information comes out about these promises and how it's impossible to keep them all, this rose-colored glasses that were kind of blinding people from the truth is being revealed. All right, and that's where Gabo comes in, because it's a gift. It's a gift that this is happening. It's a gift that people are going, oh, hey, wait a second here. We were bamboozled, And I feel like over the course of the year, we're gonna run into that situation a lot. So hold on to your hats, people. We're in for a ride. But not in a bad way. Okay, so now for midweek, we have Gaia's Garden. This is, towards the middle of the week. And it says fruition fruition, abundance, reaping what you sow. So reaping what you sow. And the card that we have is the Five of Pentacles, right? The Five of Pentacles. And that's a struggle. That's a struggle card, right? For the rune, we have, let me get in the middle of the screen here. We've got Rado. And what I'm feeling from Spirit about this, is, although this week and this year might feel like a struggle, okay, because we're going to be struggling, and there's lots of us struggling right now, struggling with our finances, struggling with the idea of what is to come, right? Struggling with pessimism and bitterness. We're struggling with this, but we have to stay focused on the light. We have to get back to center, because we are in the midst of spiritual growth. That's what Rado stands for. Rado stands for spiritual growth, among other things. But it's a rune that's saying to us, that anything that's worth having, you're going to struggle for it, right? It's not going to just be thrown your way. There are people who have things just thrown their way. It is true, okay? But for the vast majority of us, we have to do the hard work in order to reap the rewards, right? So what kind of reward do you want to reap? How do you want your future to play out? What you focus on becomes your reality. So we have to make that choice, right? But we're going to be seeing spiritual growth this week. And that's a good thing. That's a really good thing. Sometimes that means, though, facing things that we don't necessarily want to face. But in doing so, we will take a step forward. Okay? Towards the end of the week, we have the High Lady. Oops, let me get into the screen here. The High Lady of Love and Compassion. This is reverence, kindness, and consideration. The High Lady of Love and Compassion. That should be us, right? That should be us. And then the card we have is the Ace of Cups. The Ace of Cups. That's a wonderful card. That's a wonderful card. That's another love and compassion card, right? These two very well go together. It's new love, new compassion, but it's finding compassion. And then our rune is Manas. And Manas is very much, it's out of all of the runes, I feel like it's the most humanistic. Okay, so it's speaking of humanity, community, compassion, all these things, right? But it's really about relationships and forging relationships, and even the rune itself kind of looks like, either two people kissing or maybe two people shaking hands, right? It's about the coming together of partnerships. So I feel like, what Spirit is telling us with this combination of cards and runes is, it's going to take, this is cliche, okay, but it's going to take a village for all of us to get through this week and through this year, okay? We have to remember that we're not in anything alone. And even though it feels like the right thing to do sometimes to just strike out with harsh words or stabbing words, to strike out with hurt, because hurt people, and sometimes that feels good. Sometimes when you're hurting, it feels great to just hurt somebody else so that they can be hurting too. But that is not a good practice to have, you guys. And it does nothing. It does nothing to help your situation. All it does is it puts karmic debt on top of you. Okay? And you don't need that. You don't need that. You want to be about love and compassion for your fellow human beings and the people who are around you. Okay, you want to focus in on those relationships, especially new relationships. You want to focus in on those partnerships that you're making, so that you can focus in on the humanity of all of what we're going through. It's a human problem, okay? Or a human challenge is probably a better word for it. So let's stay focused on that. And then lastly, we have the map maker of destiny. Authentic purpose, inspiration, and free will. The map maker of destiny. Authentic purpose, inspiration, and free will. And that is speaking again to the whole where you put your mind is going to create your reality, right? You have the choice. You have the free will. And what we have as our tarot card is the Tower. You know, it's release, it's destruction, it's the breaking down of things. It is the Tower. I often look at the Tower as like the let's get rid of the old so that we can bring in the new, even if it hurts, even if it's not fun, you know. If there's a lot more to that, but that's what I'm feeling from Spirit when I'm putting these things together. And then lastly, for our rune, we have Alges. And that rune represents sanctuary, protection, all right, I'm like, okay, what I'm getting from Spirit about these three cards put together is there needs to be, from us to our fellow human beings, to ourselves, there needs to be some brutal honesty. And it's to protect us. Okay, it is to protect us. We have to be brutally honest with ourselves, brutally honest with the people around us, set strong boundaries, clear boundaries, and do it from a place of love, of course. All right, but we are in control. The whole point of the whole free will and the Tower moment is we are in control of what is happening to us. That is us. That is not, I mean, we often when we have, especially we have lots of things piling up on us all at once, we don't want to see our place in this. Okay, we don't want to see our place in this, but we are partly responsible. It's just like when you're in a car accident, even if you get rear-ended, you know, there's a certain amount of blame put towards you because you were there. All right, well, it's kind of the same way. We are not blameless in anything that we're experiencing. And that's a hard thing to face. That's a hard thing to look at and to believe and to embrace. But you have to, because once you start looking at what your place is in the whole situation, you're more able to forgive yourself, you're more able to move on. And it might sound like new age mumbo jumbo, but it is not. All right, it is not. We attract to us everything that we put out into the universe. So we have to be focused on the things that we want the world to become, not focused on what we're afraid of or what we're unhappy about. You know, if you're afraid of pain and all you're thinking about is pain, what do you think you're going to attract to yourself? If you're thinking about, our world, it's getting so violent, and all you're doing is steeping yourself into the fear, what do you think you're going to attract to yourself? Or what do you think you're going to invite more of? You have to see your place in this. It's very important. Okay. All right, so that's my reading. Let's go back to the other camera. I want to thank you guys for coming today. I love you. I will see you all on Wednesday for my Good Morning Coffee and Talk at 10 a.m. Central Standard Time. I hope you'll come. And I hope that you all have a great rest of your weekend here. And I love you. All right, take care, everybody. All right, bye-bye.